avoid that. So if you are going to be a leader, it must, from the very onset, it must be understood that there is the process of death to self. Now, that is very important. If you don't die to self, you can never be productive. You can never be seen outside. So those who don't die to self, they want to force themselves out, and they fail because you miss something that is very critical. So when you have buried a seed, of course, there's the issue of water. I mean, what happens there? We don't know what happens. I mean, you think about it. You take a seed of beans, a bean seed, and then you put it. If you are disturbing it every time you go there to check if it's growing, is it going to grow? It will not grow. So there is a moment when those who want to be leaders need to be silent, dead from any activity that can be destructive. And we fail in that area. So we are saying, here is a person who wants to be a leader. You want to become a future leader, a future cabinet minister. You want to be a president. First thing first, die to self. And it must be voluntary. Don't get into political leadership just to get fruits. Fruits don't come to those who are not dead, where self is not dead. Once self is not dead, corruption can never be overcome. Because when you are getting into leadership, and I've noticed, these people that are, shifting from one political party to another, and you will see them, they will come. In every party, they will come. They will come and tell you, I was a leader, I was this. They want to immediately put their level up so that you must begin to support them financially. That's not leadership. If you want to be a leader, you need to die to self. I was on the Copper Belt, and we parked our car where we were spending our nights. The guide, the first day he came, he said, Mr. President, can I wash your car? I was checking him. So the first day, I said, yes, you can wash the car. He washed the car. In the morning, he's supposed to knock off at 6 o'clock. He waited until 8 o'clock. He was waiting for me to give him the money. I gave him a 50 kwacha. The following day, when I came, we had gone into some site visits. So when we came back, this person came, and then he said, Mr. President, can I wash the car? The car was dirty, but I said no. You know why I said no? Because if all you want is to get money, you cannot render a service, then even leadership becomes critical. You are unable to die to self. What that person should have done, he should have cleaned the car without even permission, and he shouldn't even have asked anything from me. That is when you allow the process of nature to take place. What am I saying? Somebody comes to your party and wants to make sure he gets across to the president. Mr. President, I am this, I am this. That is a problem. But if you can come to a political party and begin to work without any permission, you just begin, because you are giving up yourself. That is a problem to them. Everybody wants benefit. All these politicians. That's why I'm saying, look, I'm not a politician. And I'll never be one. I'm a leader. So I understand what I want. I know what I need. So we are saying process number one, dead to self. A seed must be buried in the ground. Now, don't forget, some of these seeds are in nice packets. Beautiful packets. And when you open the seed and you can see nice words written, it's not the packet that you are in. What we want is, because that packet, it may be beautiful, but it is useless. The seed must be removed from that beautiful packet, must go into the ground. And that's what people don't want. They want to be up there. They want big positions. It's not the big position. You must start from the very basic. That is getting into the ground. Don't get into politics because you want that big packet that you are wrapped in to be seen. Withdraw it. Something happens next. The process of germination. Something that is inside the leader. Whether you are a Christian or a Satanist, no matter who you are, when it comes to leadership, God cannot be ruled out. There is something He puts in us, and He wants what He has put in us to benefit others. So your leadership needs to profit the people around you. And that's a life cycle. So the germination, of course, it starts with the roots. A leader must be rooted. But you don't have rooted leaders. How are you going to germinate without having a root? These are the people that are shifting every day. They will be looking at Google. Which political party is having a problem? They must ask Siri. Siri, which party is having a problem? And Siri on an iPhone must respond. Which party must they come out? Now, those are not rooted leaders. These are the leaders you will hear that before nomination, they shift. Those are leaders without roots. In fact, if I'm the one, I can't even take you. If you come to my party, you were with this political party, and the day before, you shift, I will tell you, Bwana, I'm sorry, we don't need leaders without roots. Those are a problem. And UPPZ will never have such. We want people we are raising, they must be rooted, they must understand the policy. That's the life cycle of a plan. Hit the roof, you say, oh my God. But that's what I'm not looking for. That. I want you to be rooted, because tomorrow, should I be taken by the Lord, I don't want to leave people who are just up, they are not rooted. Then you destroy the organization. That is why some of these political parties, the moment the leader passes away, everything goes. Because he leaves cadres and not leaders. And once you leave cadres behind, you should know what happens. The whole vision dies. And I don't want to fall into that trap. And that is why I'm taking time to build my leaders. And we are moving slowly. So the last part, after the germination. Now remember, the seed was put into the ground, but it comes out. And I think my followers must understand, if you have a gift in you, it doesn't matter where we throw you. Even if we throw you in a remotest part, you will spring up. A person with a leadership quality will spring up. People have been asking me, Mr. Chanda, where were you? Did you just fall from heaven? No. I was thrown somewhere, far away from this country. But God knew that I needed to germinate in this country. And there I am. So what we are saying is, you don't force yourself to be a leader. You don't. I mean, people should understand. Of course, I've been doing spiritual work. I reached a point where I felt, because of the challenges I was having, I decided to take a back seat. Not because I cannot do it. I can actually preach better than a lot of these so-called prophets. If I was to preach, I can do it. If I want to convert this into a church service, I can do that. But I understand what is involved in spiritual work. You don't force into spiritual work, because spiritual work is spiritual. Your conditions must be there. So all I'm saying here is that it is important. Don't put yourself where God has not put yourself. Once you are underground there, you spring up. And when you spring up, I can assure you, you are different. That is why sometimes people wonder, but why are you different? Yes, when I allow myself to die to self, I'm not selfish. I am somebody who, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about a leader. A leader must not be selfish. Because once you are selfish, and if you make a mistake, you vote a person who is selfish. Like our people say, Muzamuziwa Yesu na disciples wake. That's what happens. You will know Jesus and his disciples, because that person will deal with you. We need to ensure that we get leaders. And I'm pleading with the country. I'm pleading with the Zambians. I'm pleading with the youth. 2021 is coming. Don't just vote a political party. Vote some. You can now be able to spread. One person can start a political party and it will spread. That is why, at this particular time, people must look for political parties where original founders are. The reason is because an original founder brings up a seed and he brings people after his own kind. Where you find political parties and the people leading are not founders, it's a problem. There will be no growth and they don't care about the organization because they are not founders. If they can get what they want, they are fine, but a founder cares. And all I'm saying is that growth will lead to growth, and that is what we are learning today on leadership.
Thank you so much for that talk that you have given on building future leaders. And we move on now with our discussion this evening, and we're looking at winning a fight against corruption. Maybe I just want to get a definition from you, talking about corruption this evening. How do you describe corruption?
I think it will be important for us to look at our topic, like you have put it, winning, fighting actually, and winning. You see, because there are two things involved here. There is the fight against corruption. And I've heard people, and I've even heard leaders, political leaders, then they'll say, I am fighting corruption. That's fine. You can fight corruption. Our president is fighting corruption. Our king is fighting corruption. I read this. Even if you go on Google, just put fighting corruption, you will come and see topics. Fighting corruption, fighting corruption. But that is not enough. We want to fight and win corruption. When you say fighting, it's like playing soccer. You can play soccer and lose. I knew a team that played 16 matches winless, but they played the matches. They never scored a goal, and it was a record. It was almost going to go in the Guinness record because you have scored no goal, and it's a record. You have broken a record. You have played, but you haven't won. And I think we have a problem. Zambia has joined the group of countries in Africa and in the third world that are fighting corruption but not winning. And we are going to break a record. Because people will be telling you, no, we are champions in fighting. You can never be a champion in fighting. You become a champion in winning. Because I hear people say, no, our leader is a champion in fighting. I've never seen a champion in fighting. Me, I only see a champion who wins. And I want this country to realize that we have a fight against corruption, but it must be a fight that we ought to win. Coming back to corruption.
What is corruption?
What is corruption? Because that word is very basic. Corruption, the best definition I can give that everybody must understand is selling favors. You sell. You do something and you price it. Somebody wants this and you charge for a favor. You charge for a service you are not supposed to charge. You want to make money out of something you are not allowed to. That's corruption. You are being paid, but you want more money outside what you are being paid for. That's corruption. You know, this thing I'm doing, it is what I'm being paid for. But you now think that you are doing someone a favor, and then you put a price tag on that favor, and the person must give you something. You are the one who is supposed to sign a contract to give roads. And you don't even advertise who must do those roads. The person comes and you tell him that I am doing you a favor to get this thing, this contract. I am the one to sign. So in doing you a favor, the favor will cost you so much. That's corruption. Apart from that, what is corruption? Corruption is, you know that Here you are in this position. You are the one who is supposed to order for a plane. You are the one. And you go ahead, you sign all the papers. Okay, can we see the quotation? And people bring the quotation for the planes. 64 million US dollars. And you order the planes. Very efficient. That we need planes. In this department of, defense force, we need the planes. And you order the planes for that amount. And I'm doubtful, I'm very doubtful that if you can order planes, your commander-in-chief must be aware, because you are not the commander-in-chief, you are just the commander. So the commander-in-chief is aware that planes are being ordered. Now, a plane is not Coca-Cola or a ring that he said, no, it came, I didn't see it. No. So here somebody signs, and the treasury, because money must be released, the Minister of Finance approves. Because that's not money that is going to come from target. No, I don't think they can manage to raise money from the target. So the treasury releases the money. So you have the commander-in-chief is aware that this money is for the plane. Then you have the Minister of Finance. In fact, let's start from the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, because that's where it starts from. Those are accountants. They say, okay, they do all the paperwork. Okay? From there, what happens next? Bank of Zambia should know. You're talking about huge sums of money. That this is what is going to happen. And then all those things are being done. And then at the end of the day, 64 million US dollars gets out of the country to go and pay for the planes. And the planes never come. So, if you are the commander-in-chief and you are a diligent commander-in-chief of the armed forces, for sure, even if you can forget, okay, we can forget many things, and I understand, a human being is forgetful. But if I'm commander-in-chief of the armed forces and I'm aware there is this, I'll never forget. Because I use a plane. The plane I've been using as commander-in-chief, maybe they are, say no, it's old. So I am expecting that the planes that have been ordered, maybe, who knows? Because sometimes the planes that are for these parts, the president will use it. So if I discover 1 year, the plane is not coming, I will not be quiet. So what am I saying? What is corruption? Corruption is knowing that something has been done and you are quiet. That's corruption. You know. You know this thing went through, but you don't even want to ask. The question will come, why are you not asking? Is there something you are not telling us? There must be something you're hiding from us as a nation. Why are you not telling us? You do not even need the intelligence. Because I think we are also abusing the intelligence. Why don't you need the intelligence? Because you also have intelligence. A leader must have intelligence, his own intelligence, before I can use other intelligence. You get what I'm saying? So, I will use my own intelligence. That there's a paper I signed, I saw, that is using your own intelligence. It now even complicates matters. If you are even a lawyer, then it becomes a challenge. So what we are saying here is that when certain things are done, we are aware. We know that the treasury is losing, but we are quiet. You can't prove to me that you are fighting corruption and winning it. Yes, you might be fighting it, but not winning. There is a reason why you are not winning. And this reminds me of a fight of the late Lord Timwale, may his soul rest in peace, and Saad Muhammad. We watched that fight. From what they told us, when they beat our man, he was on the ground. He wanted to stand up, but the coach told him, it's okay, just remain there. And that's how he just lost that fight. Maybe he could have stood up, but he was told, don't stand up. Just stay there. So if somebody says that, no, if they say he was bought, are you going to refuse? You can't refuse. So what we are saying here is, this thing of corruption, it is more than we think. You might not be corrupt, but your attitude to the wrongdoers is what raises suspicion. You can't say that the executive are corrupt. No, but it's the attitude. And that is what we are saying. This thing of corruption, it is a fight we must win. And so far, we are losing the fight.
At the moment, how do you rate Zambia in terms of fighting and winning corruption?
Well, we have never won. I don't think there's any corruption we have won. And I'll tell you why. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes people may think I'm selfish, but I'm saying, God, just give me a chance. Just give me, even if it's one term. Just one term. I don't want to stay long on this thing. Because I have seen a loophole in this country. Can you imagine? You know that this person has stolen money. And you are aware. You have evidence that this person has taken money. And then you take your time, you suspend the person. And then after suspending the person, we are quiet. The money goes. And the person maybe eventually is made to go. And the money goes. I'm not going to do that. If God, let me even use a different term. I think maybe that would be the best term I can use today. If God makes a mistake to make me president, it will be regrettable. You say, but why? I'm saying that because my friends who have tested this power, we say God put them there. He didn't make a mistake. But I'm saying for me, if God makes a mistake and makes me president, it's going to be bad. Because what I'm going to do, everyone with a record of corruption, I'm going to go after them. We want the money back. I'm not just going to be like these are our ministers who will count bwana ndarama nizingati matenga kwa bantu. Bwana ni 25 chave zitatengeza mbili. So me, what I'm going to do, that 25, we will go the people who paid. You understand what I'm saying? We will not take the 25 to the police and say, okay, Faganum Ndarama Zaboma. Me, I will say, please, if you are one of those people who gave those police officers money, you must come and collect. That's how we can win and fight corruption.
Do you think they'll come back?
No, we will tell them, we will not arrest them. We will not arrest them.
Because for corruption, to take place.
I understand. Now, where we are heading to here is one. We have a problem. We fight the players and we leave the ball. As long as you are not leaving the ball, you cannot win the match. You need to score. There is no way as a president of this country, and I have information that this person, the planes we paid for, the money has not come. I will not leave the person. I want all that money. And I want to challenge the president. The Auditor General's report. There are people cited there who were used as officers. They paid money for things that have never come. I want to challenge our president, the commander of the armed forces, like Honorable Sambo normally says. I am saying to the president, we want our money back. The money that those people have used, we want it back. In fact, we want it before the marketing season so that that money can be used on farmers. If there have been monies spent by people and those things have not come, if the president is serious in fighting corruption, we want him to go for the money. Where is the money? Don't go for the people. Because if you go for the people, you can just fire them. Don't even fire them. Just tell them to go and bring the money. Wherever they have taken the money, they must bring. Whoever they have given, they must bring. Because these are millions. We cannot continue, being so careless.
How bad are we as a nation when it comes to corruption? In what areas have you noted, corruption?
You see, it starts from topmost positions. Because I'm still having a problem. Somebody just has to convince me. Maybe one day there must be a press conference where somebody must educate the nation why one Chinese company has successfully managed to get all government contracts. We just need to know. Because there is no way you can rule out corruption. It is impossible. You can't rule out corruption. There is no way. Go to Toyota Zambia. Go to Toyota Zambia. Go and find out which company bought a VX for one of the children of these leaders. Why? Why should this company go to Toyota Zambia and buy a car worth more than 1.3 million for one of the leaders? Is that not corruption? Is that not bribery?
But is it wrong to accept a gift? When we are talking about fighting and winning corruption, as you are putting it, someone bought, I'll put it in this way, a gift and give it to that, the person we're talking about. Is it wrong to get a gift?
It's not just wrong. It's very wrong. Because leaders, they normally declare. A gift can blind. Gifts are a problem. In fact, you must remember, there's no free gift. If one company can go and buy a car, why didn't they buy even for me? I mean, I'm helping citizens. At least they can appreciate me and say, Mr. Chanda is selling cheap line. Let's buy. Why target somebody who already has a lot of cars and buses? It doesn't make sense. It will never make sense. I have trucks, more than I need, and then you go and buy me a car. I will be questioning. This gift is suspicious. And a leader who loves gifts will never be innocent. That is the truth. If you are a leader, if you are in leadership, no matter which, including churches. So this thing I'm talking about is not just politics, including these churches. If the pastor is always receiving gifts, one day he will change the message. Because you are the one who is always giving the gifts. The pastor will start preaching, and when he realizes quickly that what he's going to say will affect the giver, he will start drinking water, so that that thought will change. After drinking water, he will go to point number 2. He will jump that. Gifts are a problem. And especially for politicians, I'm going to be very strict. Should God allow me to be president, part of the code of conduct for my ministers, I'm sure my upcoming cabinet ministers are listening to me. Part of the code of conduct, which they have to sign, because I'm the one to appoint them. So I will give them a code of conduct. Part of the condition is that if you are going to receive a gift, that gift must be cleared. So, as president, I must know. Because I don't want someone, just because I have put you to be Minister of Infrastructure, because you are my Minister of Infrastructure, and you are the one leading, most of these lucrative tenders, then you will just be receiving cars every day. I will not accept that.
But how possible is it, Mr. Chanda, to run a nation without corruption? How possible?
Look,
under the sun?
We are
Now, are you going to run this nation in case you are a president without corruption?
Look, we are not saying that we can eliminate corruption, but we can manage to regulate the country that corruption is a problem.
How?
It's very easy. President Levi Mwanawasa, may his soul rest in peace. You and I know he was in charge of a country. If you get a president position, I did not give you a position to enrich yourself. No. I've been to some of these ministers here. I was just passing in one of these ministers. I passed at the house. Their yard is full of cars. Before they even, in fact, they have not yet given that minister the new one, the new cars. I passed there. I was going to see somebody. There is not even a space to park cars. You get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying here is that there is a need for a leader to have oversight over the people that are leading with him. You may not be corrupt, but the corruption of your leaders will render your leadership corrupt.
Would you love to see the people that you're working with in cabinet to remain the way they were?
No.
Live what they used to live?
No. That's not the issue here. We are not in a socialist republic. What we are saying here is that I'm going to make you a leader. Of course, I need to know. You need to declare your interest. I need to know what you are doing. I'm going to give you a public position. That public position I'm giving you, you could have been doing something. I must know. I must be informed about you. You cannot just overnight. Things are happening. How? No. That is why you need a very strong anti-corruption body. A body that can tackle corruption. Now, it's necessary. We are not saying that when you appoint your leaders, they must be just, purpose. No, that's not what we are saying. But we need to know the source of their wealth. I mean, think about it. During this period, during this government, we have seen a situation where cars, not cars for Tukwachi, big cars, are imported into the country without money being transferred out. Now, if I'm president in that country, somebody brings in 100 trucks and no money was transferred out of the country, it's a problem. Even the Anti-Corruption Commission, they cannot continue dozing. They are supposed to find out. I mean, they've got access, the financial intelligence, they've got access to all the banks. They can find out which bank transferred so much money out of the country. So all we are saying here is that you need to have a watch. That is why a leader is a watchman over his own country. And the reason why you have the office of the president, the reason why you have the intelligence wing, they must be able to give you information, what is happening. Are you aware that during the term of one of the late presidents, there was information who was coming in and going out of the country every day? The president was aware. So all we are saying here is that we may not be able to completely eliminate corruption, but we can fight it so that people don't hide money underground. Who know who is digging the ground, not to bury a corpse, but to bury money. We'll be able to know about that.
Okay. Let me read some messages from people that are watching us this evening. This one says, good points on nurturing leaders. What is your take on PF and the president's silence over Amos Chanda's conduct? Elijah from Osaka. Thank you. This one says, It's a wrong one. Okay. Mr. Sanda, you mentioned the fight against corruption. However, what is your party's ideology in the fight against poverty, it being the main drive of corruption? Second, how do you hope to change the mindset of the people and engage the people to avoid corruption? Last but not the least, how convinced will the people be that you might not turn out to be embracing the same evils in governance that is entrenching in successive regimes so far? What checks and balances do you propose? I think
Well,
you must take this one.
yeah, I can answer.
The drive of corruption is poverty.
Exactly. Now, when you look at poverty, there are two levels of poverty. It's the poverty of political leaders and the poverty of the country. So it depends. When you look at the poverty of political leaders, yes, it is that poverty that can lead them to corruption. And this is why, when it comes to the appointment of leaders, we need to look at the issue of service. You become a leader to serve, not to receive. I think you understand what I'm saying. You are serving and not serving. But most leaders, most politicians, they enter to serve. You know what happens? They get a safe. You know the way we do it. You put minimal there to start serving. And then at the end of the day, you may deliberately get a sieve with a very small hose so that what goes out is not compared to what remains. And that is a problem. When you have people who have taken up politics as a career, it's a challenge. How many of these people aspire to be councillors just to get land? And now, because land is finished, that is why these councillors are shifting. Like students who have failed to pay their rent. Today they were in this house. When it's month end, they run away. They go to the other one. It shouldn't be like that. If I am there to save, I will make sure I do something. Now, these people that are jumping, these councillors that are moving from political party to political party, you look at them, what have they done? It is the same citizens, the same constituents, the same word. You didn't do anything. Is it because of the party that you won your elections on, or it is you with your failure to understand why you have become a leader? A leader takes care of the people. These politics of career oriented, it's a challenge. Where you want to make money out of politics, there it's a problem. So the poverty of leaders is a problem. And so we need to ensure that the people we are appointing into positions of leadership, we must first find out, are you going to make it? If you are failing to even get transport money, I mean, let's be realistic. You want to be a councillor, but you don't even have transport money. You walk from Charleston to town every day, and you say, no, I want to be a councillor. What are you going to do? So those are the things we need to find out. So it's not just a matter of appointing. No, we appoint this one. We need first to look at, you are going to save people. If you are going to save people, how can you save when you also want to be saved? It becomes a challenge. But the poverty of the people shouldn't even breed corruption. Okay. Because you spend more time meeting the needs of the people. Where are you going to find time to save yourself?
Okay, thank you. Let me continue with the messages. Good evening, Mr. President. One of the issues that have brought concern is also on the number of ministers we have in Zambia, such as the Ministry of Religious Affairs My question is, upon appointed as the new president, are you going to reduce some of the ministry, Auditor Patrick Gondwe, Lusaka West, Kasupe?
The reason being that those members of parliament who have never had the privilege of serving in cabinet, they may want to shift camp at the end of the term. So the only guarantee they will have is that, look, guys, don't move out. In the next term, we are going to have deputy ministers. That's a challenge. You need to look at the country. Let's look at fiscal discipline. We need to look at our budgets. We have a challenge. For sure, certain portfolios are unnecessary. We can still be able to deal with those issues without having a cabinet portfolio. It's possible. I mean, I'll be very honest with you. Now, let me look at 3 ministries that UPPZ is going to deal with. And I'll tell you where there is a conflict of interest. Now, you have the Minister of Housing. You have the Minister of Lands. You have the Minister of Local Government. These 3. Are you aware that these 3 ministers are actually supposed to be under one ministry? And I'll tell you what happened. There was a time the Minister of Lands suspended the council because of land issues. Of course, the council is an agent for the Ministry of Lands. Then, the Minister of Local Government, he went and lifted the suspension. So now, you can see where the problem is. Where do you put your house? Is it not on land? So, when you say Minister of Housing, are you aware that a Zambian doesn't need a minister to build a house? A Minister of Housing. Zambians build their own houses. It is a waste of resources to go and appoint a minister. There is no land. So, what is a Minister of Housing going to be doing? Because there's no land for houses. So you can see where the problem is. You go and appoint a Minister of Local Government. There's no local government. Because look at the council. They are cadres. Then we must also have a Minister of Cadres. Because cadres are the ones running the markets, the stations, and those are supposed to be under the local government. So I can't be surprised next when you hear that we have now a new portfolio to ensure that cadres are taken care of, Minister of Cadres. We can do that. But all I'm saying here is that, can you see that these 3 ministers, one minister can do the job with permanent secretaries attached to be able to handle those sections.
But what you're talking about, do you think it can work at the moment? Because
no. At this time, it's impossible.
The number has grown.
Which number?
Citizens, we are so many compared to, I know the first cabinet was just, a few members of the cabinet. There were about maybe 10, 12 compared to what we're having right now. Because the population at that moment
Mr. Chitaru, we are talking about population.
Not that much.
Are you aware that Zambia has a deficit of 1.5 million housing, and you have a Minister of Housing? So what are you telling me about? If there's a minister who sits in that cabinet, and the people have no houses, 1.5 million, so then why have that portfolio?
Okay.
And then, no, I'm not finished. You have a Minister of Housing, and you've got houses that have been vacant for 10 years. If it was President Sisi, and I had a minister like that, I will fire the minister. Because those houses at Heroes, in opposite Heroes Stadium, are you aware that for the period they've been vacant, if we rented them for 500 kwacha, we could have raised by now 27 million kwacha. But they are empty. And now those things are even becoming, you need to work on them again. And you have a minister. That's what I'm telling you, that some of these portfolios, we are just wasting taxpayers' money. Even these cars we are buying, it's even paying me as if it's my own money. So all I'm saying here is that this cabinet we have is too much. You even have a Minister of Water. Which water? Because our people don't have water. Go to Kanyama. So when you are appointing these ministers, you need to tell them this is the way we are Manchester first. And then everybody is saying, no. Us, we want to play Leicester City. That's what is happening now. The churches are saying, us, we are going ahead. ZCID is also saying, we are going ahead. We are all busy with the process and we have left the problem. So, when you see people like that, you'll be wondering, that, do we really have leaders in this country? Do those people who call themselves leaders know what it means to be a leader? We are not dealing with the process here. This one will say, no, if there's no dialogue, there will be no, this thing reforms. This thing is straightforward. We are not talking about the process. We want dialogue. And who are the stakeholders in the dialogue? It's not the church. It's not even this thing. The stakeholders are the political leaders.
If we move away, we take away the churches, and then the ZCID remains, then who's going to change? Because there should be a person who's neutral in this matter.
And you think the church is neutral? Have you ever thought about that? If we are saying the church must deal with the dialogue, this is my solution. Maybe they will take it. What we must do is that get all the people who are having a problem. Since we want the church, get all of them. Let's have one church service. You're with me. We want the church to solve the problem. Let's have one service, and let's look for a neutral pastor who is not a pastor of any of those people who are involved. Let him preach a sermon. All of us are there because we want the church. And after the sermon, then we must pray. Then the church is sorted out. Because this thing of, no, we bring in the church, that CID is saying this, all that is immaterial. What do we want to discuss in the dialogue? I'm still insisting, what is the agenda? The agenda will determine who must be the stakeholders.
Okay, thank you so much for...
It's a pleasure, Mr. Stalo. Time will never be enough.
And you can give your concluding remarks and also give the number to the people. I know they want your number. Many of them are calling, they're texting that they want your number so you can...
Well, those of you that want to get in touch with me, I'm giving you the WhatsApp line. The WhatsApp line is 0977 586 347. 0977 586 347. You can drop me a WhatsApp and I'll try as much as I can to be able to respond to you. But in conclusion, I just want to appeal to every citizen. Yes, things are hard. Our people are crying. But I want to appeal to the government. The government needs to do much in poverty alleviation. Let us not segregate. Let us not just focus on our political party members. We must look at the whole problem holistically. Our farmers are crying. They haven't got enough money. We need to see how we can help up the fight against corruption, up against the fight of poverty, because these are the things that are bringing our nation backwards. And for the people of Zambia, peace is something we cannot trade with. Let's continue the path of peace, and God will surely be able to help us.
Mr. Chanda, the president of the leader of the United Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia, has been my guest this evening. And of course, you can tune in next week on Sunday at 21 hours as we come with another edition of Zambia Today. My name is Kefas Chitalu. Thank you for watching.